Okay, so Bitcoin is under attack again by Jamie Dimon. I'm sure most of you know who Jamie Dimon is. If you don't know who Jamie Dimon is, a brief bio of Jamie is that he is Chief Executive Officer of JP Morgan, which is one of the largest banks or financial institutions of USA. He has been CEO of JP Morgan for almost 2 decades now. So the man is very successful and he's very intelligent. And to hear something like that from him, the things he's saying about Bitcoin, it doesn't do the justice to the public. So to set the context for this video, the purpose of this video is not to say negative things about Jamie Dimon. However, it is important that we clarify his statements about Bitcoin. The things he's saying, are they true or are they just a FUD, a fear that he wants to create for the public? So I'm going to play the clip. There's 2 clips I want to play. The first clip is about a minute and a half long, and the second clip is shorter clip. But I'll play the clip, and we'll talk about his statements. And a disclaimer: none of the information in this video is financial advice. Do your own research. This is only for education and entertainment purposes. All right, let's dive into the video.
Today's terrorists have a new way to get around the Bank Secrecy Act: cryptocurrency. Last year, an estimated $20 billion in illicit crypto transactions funded every kind of dangerous criminal. North Korea has funded at least half its missile program, including nuclear weapons, using the proceeds of crypto crime. And Israeli officials have confirmed that Hamas received millions of dollars through crypto transactions, including, quote, large sums from Iran. Mr. Dimon, you've been CEO of JP Morgan for almost 2 decades. Can you explain why crypto is such an attractive financial tool for terrorists, drug traffickers, and rogue nations?
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, et cetera. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video there and I'm going to comment on that statement. So Jamie Dimon here just described the only use case of Bitcoin. I'm here specifically only talking about Bitcoin monetary system. So this is important to understand. Bitcoin is a tool. So just like how a knife is a tool, a knife can be used by anyone who wants to murder someone, right? And the same knife can also be used to, kill an animal and butcher the animal and feed the family. A knife is a tool that is also that has many other use cases that are productive and essential for the society. You can take any other tool and apply the same concept. So Bitcoin is a tool. And here are some use cases of Bitcoin that Jamie Dimon completely ignored in his statement. Number 1 use case: it's pure peer-to-peer network. It's the only monetary system out there that does not require a trusted intermediary party like a bank in order to send value across space and time. Number 2, Bitcoin is a decentralized monetary system with an immutable monetary policy. So there's always and only gonna be 21 million Bitcoin and no more than that. It's an immutable monetary policy. No central party or even Satoshi himself, if he comes back, can change that. It's a decentralized system. And of course, number 3, it's protected against inflation. And as we all know, inflation is a big problem globally. Also, I want to add, it's a network, a monetary system that's open to everyone globally. And it's accessible to everyone globally. So that's a use case for Bitcoin right there. So let's go back to the video.
To crypto, Bitcoin, et cetera. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously. And because
Okay, I wanted to pause the video right there and wanted to comment on that statement. So Jamie Dimon here is saying Bitcoin is somewhat anonymous, not fully anonymous. I want to correct that. A Bitcoin user can choose to be fully anonymous if he does things correctly. That's number 1. Number 2, it's important to understand that the Bitcoin monetary system is a public ledger and is accessible for anyone to see. What that means is that all the transactions on the Bitcoin network can be traced all the way back to the very first transaction. So it's fully transparent, and it can be fully anonymous as well. Okay, let's go back to the video.
because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have been built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay, I paused the video. I want to comment on that last statement by Jamie Dimon, where he said that it bypasses all the systems built over time. Okay. Yes, it does. It does bypass all the systems. And that's the whole point. That was the reason why it was designed and built for. And that's a use case right there for Bitcoin. It's important to understand that originally these systems were built to protect the public and citizens. But not in all cases, but in some cases, these systems over time have a tendency, I retract. In most of the cases, if you look back at if you read human history, these systems over time tend to monopolize and give power to the select few individuals. And that's what Bitcoin is designed for, to bypass all the controls put in place by big monopolies. Right now, the central banks and the government have a monopoly on fiat money. They can print whenever they want, as much as they want. There is no cost to it. They have to pay nothing to do that. However, the public has to pay in inflation. So, Bitcoin is a solution to that, and it bypasses all those monopolies. And that's what it was designed for. Okay, so that answers right there. I want to play another short clip, and there are some things that Jamie Dimon said about Bitcoin that I want to clarify. All right, let's dive into the next video.
Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud. It's a pet rock.
You're back to that?
Yeah,
Really?
Of course, yeah.
It's a hyped up fraud and a pet rock. Okay. We really need to address this one. So Bitcoin is an open source software. Anyone can download it, look at it, and verify the information. The point I'm trying to make is fraud is usually connected with secrecy. If someone is trying to commit fraud, they will hide information. They will not be public and open about that information. However, Bitcoin is open source software. There's nothing to hide. So how can that be a fraud? If Bitcoin was to be a fraud, it would be a closed source software in the first place. And if it was a closed source software, it would not succeed because no one would accept it. That's number one. Number two, Bitcoin is a decentralized monetary system. All the participants to this date voluntarily entered the monetary system. No one forced them. No one put any obligations on them. They willingly expended energy to mine Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin because they foresee the short-term and the long-term value of Bitcoin to go higher. So they voluntarily accept and enter this monetary system. So the point I'm trying to make is, if fraud is sometimes committed by mandating or obligating certain things on public or individuals, Bitcoin monetary system does not mandate or obligates anyone to join the system. You don't want to? Fine. You want to? You're welcome. As long as you're honest and you work hard and you contribute equally and don't cheat, you will succeed in this monetary system. Okay, I want to make that point. Let's go back to the short clip and we'll address the last statement there. All right, let's go.
Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud. It's a pet rock.
You're back to that?
Yeah,
Really?
Of course, yeah.
So what do you make then of BlackRock and other firms that are investing in infrastructure?
No, that's different. Blockchain is a technology ledger system that we use to move information. We've used it to do overnight repo, intraday repo. We've used it to move money.
Right.
So that is a ledger. That's a technology ledger type of thing that we think will be deployable.
Remember,
we've been talking about that for 12 years too, and very little's been done.
There's some tokens that I agree with you on, but Bitcoin's based on a distributed ledger.
Yeah,
it has all the characteristics of a store of value. It's immutable. It's scarce.
Totally untrue. It's
21 million.
Well, yeah, really. How do you know it's going to stop at 21 million?
Because
I've mentioned this to people
Satoshi,
too. Everyone says that. Well, maybe it's going to get to 21 million, and Satoshi's picture is going to come up and laugh at you all.
So Satoshi picture will come up, and there won't be 21 million anymore. Just like that, right? No, it doesn't work like that. Again, Bitcoin is an open source software. All the nodes or the miners are the participants of the network. They can all look at the software and verify the software anytime. And the consensus mechanism is basically, as long as majority of the participants of the network willingly agree to keep working on the same software or the network, then the 21 million monetary policy applies. Now, if you are a participant of the network and you're invested in it, why would you want to change that monetary policy and inflate the supply? You don't. So you are economically incentivized to keep the supply to a max cap of 21 million. And that's that. So no one individual can change that consensus mechanism. Even today, if Satoshi shows up and tries to change that, he will have zero luck because it's a distributed, open source software that all the participants are willingly contributing to and participating in. Not just one computer or one person or one participant can change that in no way, shape, or form. So I just wanted to clarify that. And, well, pay attention, read books, educate yourself, and don't these influential personalities, you would think that they know what they're talking about. But it's surprising to me that either they don't know what they're talking about, or they just willingly don't want to say the truth. We don't know. However, I felt it was my duty to clarify these things, and so I did. All right, enjoy.